Polygamy Part 26. The night Alice returned, Nita's joy knew no bounds. She laughed, cried, and clung to her mother as though she would disappear again if she let go. Mother and daughter talked endlessly, sharing stories of pain, waiting, and hope, until morning found Nita asleep in Alice's arms for the first time in 5 long years. At dawn, something strange happened. Nita stepped outside and swept the entire compound. She went to the stream and fetched water in large clay pots, refilling the pots in her room, something she had not done once in 5 years. When Felicia and Zita saw her, they stood in shock. Nita, smiling, walking. She had not worn a smile in years. Why the sudden change? Then Nita walked up to Felicia. "Mama Felicia, what are we cooking for breakfast?" she asked cheerfully. "I'm very hungry today. I need to start eating properly so I'll have enough strength to dance on the day of the bride selection." Felicia smiled warmly and placed her hands on Nita's shoulders. "My dear daughter, Nita, seeing you this happy makes my heart glad. Please remain this way." "Yes," Nita replied quickly. "I will be happy from now on. I promise." Overjoyed, Felicia instructed that 2 chickens be killed and that Nita's favorite meal be prepared to celebrate her sudden change. For the first time ever, Nita and Zita cooked together, laughing and working side by side. But when the food was ready, Nita took a large calabash and served herself the best portions. As usual, she hurried into her hut to eat alone. No one suspected a thing. After all, she had eaten alone for years. Even though the portion was far too large for one person, it seemed normal to them. Inside the hut, Nita locked the door. She and Alice sat together, eating happily, whispering and laughing softly, covering their mouths so their voices would not escape outside. Earlier that morning, Alice had given Nita clear instructions. "Pretend you have changed," she said. "Do chores. Go to the stream. Fetch water. When you see elders on the road, greet them with a smile. Let them speak well of you when the time comes." Nita frowned. "But I don't know how to pretend. I don't even know how to show care for people I don't like." Alice smiled faintly. "I know," she replied. "I don't know how to do it either. But when you want something badly, you learn. You are your mother's daughter. This is the only way you will become the princess, and the future queen." And so, Nita began to act. While the household of Chief Odom believed that Nita had finally changed, the truth was far darker. Nita had not changed at all. She was only playing the script written by her returned, hidden mother, Alice. To be continued. Polygamy, Part 27. From the very moment Alice returned in secret, something in Nita shifted, not in her heart, but in her strategy. She began to behave like the daughter the village had always wished she was. Every morning, before the first cock crowed fully, Nita would rise quietly from her mat. She swept the compound until the red earth shone smooth and clean. She fetched water from the stream with heavy clay pots balanced perfectly on her head, never complaining, never frowning. She washed plates, scrubbed cooking pots, and prepared meals with care, serving everyone before herself. The villagers noticed. Children who once feared her now ran toward her, clinging to her wrapper as she laughed softly and shared roasted corn with them. Old women who could barely walk found Nita suddenly beside them, helping them carry firewood or fetch water, listening patiently to stories she never cared about before. "May your days be long, my daughter," the elders would bless her. Nita smiled. But every smile was rehearsed. Every kindness was calculated. She did exactly as Alice had taught her. Chief Odom watched all this in silence. Sometimes he stood by the door of his hut, arms folded, eyes narrowed, watching Nita move around the compound like a stranger wearing his daughter's face. The harshness he once knew had vanished. The bitterness had melted into politeness. Can a person truly change this much? He wondered. Felicia too observed her carefully. She prayed silently that Nita had finally healed from the wounds Alice left behind. Her heart softened each time she saw Nita smile or help Zita in the kitchen. But Zita, gentle, warm-hearted Zita, felt something different. It was not hatred. It was not envy. It was that quiet thing that comes when attention shifts suddenly. For the first time in years, people were no longer praising Zita alone. Everywhere she went, whispers followed Nita. That girl has truly changed. She will make a fine wife. Her manners now surpass many maidens. Zita smiled through it all, but sometimes, alone, she wondered. Why now? Why this sudden change? The bride selection was still weeks away, scheduled to take place after Christmas. But the king of Egbejo, wise and deliberate, had his own plans. He knew that choosing a bride for his only son, the heir to the throne, could not be rushed or left to rumors alone. He needed to see the people. Their daughters. Their upbringing. Their families. So he made a decision no king before him had made in decades. He invited the entire village to celebrate Christmas in the palace. This was no small matter. The king of Egbejo was not an ordinary ruler. Among neighboring villages, he was known as a quiet force, rarely seen, deeply respected, and feared by those who understood power. His palace was said to rival castles, guarded by tradition and mystery. When the town crier appeared again, beating his gong until the sound echoed across the land, villagers poured out of their huts. Hear ye! Hear ye! By order of the king of Egbejo. The announcement that followed sent shockwaves through the village. All citizens are invited to the palace for the Christmas celebration. There shall be food, drinks, music, and joy without limit. Then came the words that set hearts racing. All families with eligible daughters fit for marriage shall receive gifts from the king, gifts that signify approval to participate in the royal bride selection. Women screamed with excitement. Men whispered with pride. Young girls ran indoors, already imagining crowns and silk. By evening, every compound buzzed with preparation. At Chief Odom's house. That night, Zita sat beside her mother, quietly peeling vegetables. Her excitement was there, but it was tangled with uncertainty. Felicia noticed. My daughter, she said softly, what troubles you? Zita hesitated before speaking. Mom, do you think I truly stand a chance? Among all the maidens, to become the princess? Felicia smiled gently and placed her hand on Zita's head. The selection is still weeks away. Christmas is only a gathering. Go, enjoy the palace, and let the gods decide what tomorrow brings. Zita nodded, reassured, but her heart still fluttered. Inside the room that once belonged to Alice, shadows danced as mother and daughter whispered. Alice had returned, but only at night. By day, she vanished like smoke. Nita had become her messenger, her informer, telling her everything that happened under the sun while Alice crept through the forest after dark. When Nita announced the king's Christmas invitation, Alice smiled, a slow, dangerous smile. This is our opening, Alice said. You must outshine them all. But mother, Nita whispered, I don't have money for new clothes. Father hasn't given us Christmas money since you were banished. Alice laughed quietly. Money is no longer a problem. Knowledge is power, and I have both now. That night, Alice revealed the fruit of 5 years in exile, wealth from dark trades, charms from distant lands, beads blessed by dangerous spirits. You will wear these, she said. And you will behave exactly as I taught you. Smile. Greet. Bend. Pretend. Nita nodded. I will be whatever you want me to be. The night before Christmas. On the night of the 24th, Nita could not sleep. She lay awake, staring at the ceiling, imagining the palace, its size, its lights, its music. She wondered what the prince looked like. She imagined his eyes lingering on her. She smiled in the darkness. Soon, she thought. Very soon. Outside, the village slept, unaware that Christmas would not only bring celebration, but the beginning of another dangerous chapter. Because beneath Nita's smile, Alice was watching. And destiny had already begun to move. To be continued.